So I invite you now to all come to your mats in a nice fluid, very gentle way. You can take a seat if you'd like. We're going to start seated. I'll sound our bell so we can all bring our attention down into our bodies. And we're going to start this practice with water. So as you come down to your mat, let's take the soles of the feet and bring them together. Let's allow the knees to open up down. Just allow them to relax down gently. And take your hands and let's bring them to our feet. We're going to treat ourselves today with a little foot massage. We don't honor our feet enough, it seems like. So I want you guys to take a moment here just to use your thumbs. Take them to the sole of your foot. Just find a nice gentle way to press into some of the balls of the toe mound. Press down along the sole of the foot. Working your way up to the heel. And out to the ankle as well, using your fingers. Just giving ourselves this gift. Beginning to use our breath to settle our bodies down onto the mat. Using your breath to allow the knees to relax down by the sides. If your knees are up here, this is totally fine. There's a lot of fluidity in our hips, also a place where water plays an important aspect of our bodies. And so we want to focus on opening up that area to allow a little bit more fluidity in our movement. So just taking another couple moments to massage the sole of your feet, working your way up around the heel and around the toes and around the ankle. Taking big breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. One more inhale in through the nose and out through the nose. Lovely. Bringing your hands to grab around the ankles. We're going to take our elbows and begin to press the insides of the knees down. Lifting up the chest and lowering the shoulders down from the ears. We're just going to come into a little bit of a gentle seated cat and cow. So on an inhale, I want you to lift your gaze, lift your chin, open up your heart space, using the leverage with your elbows down onto your knees to lift that heart space. And on an exhale, round the upper back, tucking the chin towards the chest. Just waking up the neck. Again, moving like this with the breath, inhaling, opening the heart space, exhaling, drawing the chin down towards the chest, rounding the upper back. If you do a lot of typing, this can really help to release the area across the shoulder blades, waking up the sides of the neck, stretching them out, inhale. And exhale. Taking another cycle with the breath. Beautiful. Just 1 second, I'm just going to start my timer here so I don't lose track. So from here, we're going to place one hand on the opposite knee. And we're going to raise the other arm, inhaling up, exhaling, reaching over, opening up the side body. Beautiful. Let's inhale back to center, and we're going to switch. Bringing the opposite arm to the opposite knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale and bend. Grounding down in those sits bones, lengthening from the hip, switching over to the other side. So right away, we're inhaling, lifting, exhaling and reaching. We have this quality of fluidity in our bodies here, moving like water. Inhale, Exhale. Bruce Lee, the famous Kung Fu master, once said, "Be like water." And I think that's a beautiful embodiment of what it means to be fluid, to pass through challenges. Once more, each side. Inhale, lift, and reach. Taking the hand to the inside of the knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and reach. Beautiful. Coming back to center, we're going to lift one foot and take the opposite foot to the glute or close to the outside of the hip, just tucking it in nice and close. This leg is going to come over, the sole of the foot is going to be placed to the outside of the opposite thigh. We're going to hug the knee into the chest, take the opposite arm out the back, and add a gentle twist. Taking your gaze past the shoulder, waking up the side of the neck here. Just allowing the sits bones to relax down and anchor down into the earth. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's switch sides. So we're placing the heel of the foot close to the glute, and the opposite leg bends up and over, placing the sole of the opposite foot to the outside of the thigh. Inhale and draw that knee in close to the chest. Take the opposite hand behind you and twist. Just waking up the spine here. As you inhale, you can lengthen. As you exhale, you can move deeper into the twist. No craning the neck, no tension. Just fluidity here. Once more, inhale, allowing the breath to travel all the way up the spine, and exhale. Nice work. Coming back to center. We're going to uncross the legs here. We're going to come to a standing position. Taking it nice and easy, coming onto your fingers. Coming to the tops of your mats. We're going to bring the feet together, big toes together, and the heels are slightly separated. Finding ourselves in our mountain pose here. Begin to add a gentle bend in your knees. Allow the tailbone to lengthen down as you draw the lower belly up and in. And then allow your arms to extend and relax by your sides. Lifting up your sternum, so this heart space, coming into your mountain pose. This is a wonderful way to begin to feel rooted down, to begin to come into your body, feeling your feet pressing down into the earth. You can close the eyes or soften your gaze as you breathe up and down the spine. Using the breath to awaken the body. Inhale. Exhale. Lowering the shoulders down from the ears. Lengthening the back of the neck. Feel your feet rooting down here. On your next inhale, I want you to reach the arms up overhead. We're going to bring the palms together and begin to fold forward, tipping from the hip, allowing the front body to relax down. Crown of the head relaxes down towards the earth. If you'd like, you can take the feet hip-width distance here as we just come into our first forward fold. Just finding a little bit of gentle sway and fluidity even here. Opening up the lower back. Maybe you grab opposite elbows, sway side to side. Keeping the knees bent. Keep rooting down through the soles of your feet. Excellent. You can stay with your feet separated, or you can heel toe so that the big toes come together. And then we're just gonna lift up halfway on the inhale, drawing the fingertips up along the shins, inhaling to a flat back, extending the tailbone out behind us while the crown of the head reaches forward, drawing the lower belly up and in to keep a nice flat back. Take an inhale, exhale and release, fold forward. Now really rooting down into those feet. We're going to inhale and press down so much that the torso begins to roll all the way back up to our mountain pose. Arms are long by your side. Okay, we're going to come into our first flow here. So let's inhale and reach the arms up overhead. On the exhale, we're going to step back with the right foot, coming into a crescent lunge. Back heel is lifted, front knee over that front ankle, arms are raised overhead. Now imagine you have a big beach ball between your hands, so you can lower the shoulders down and keep that space, keeping your hands shoulder width apart. Back heel pressing away. This front leg is drawing into the hip socket while the front of the right hip draws forward. From here, take an inhale, begin to pivot on the back foot so the toes are coming forward and you're taking your feet out nice and wide. Let's take our arms out to opposite sides of the room. So take a look. Your wrists should be over your ankles, coming into a 5-pointed star. Okay, toes are forward, wrists over ankles. Let's lower the shoulders down from the ears. Think about extending this tailbone down. So rather than drawing the pelvis out, you want to draw it in so the tailbone can lengthen down. Beautiful. From here, I want you to point your toes out to the corners of your mat. Press down into the pinky toe edge of your feet and begin to sink the tailbone down. Knees are bending, traveling over the ankles. Bend the elbows, coming into goddess pose. So you really need to press into the outer edges of the feet here. Again, using the core to extend the tailbone down behind you. Opening up the hips. From here, we're going to press into the feet, rise up, reach the hands overhead for star pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, coming into goddess. Really pressing into the outside edges of those feet. You might feel like you're coming forward and the knees are traveling forward. You have to press into the pinky toe edges of the feet. From here, inhale into star, reaching up overhead. Exhale, goddess. One more cycle with the breath. Inhale, beautiful work, guys. Reaching up overhead, awakening the back. Exhale, goddess. Lovely. We're going to take the arms out once more, opposite sides of the room. This back foot is going to pivot as the leg goes long. The toes are coming forward or coming to a 45-degree angle. We're coming into our warrior two. Front toes are pointing up towards the top of the mat. When you find your footing, front knee over front ankle, back toes either are pointed forward so that the pinky toe edge of the foot is parallel with the edge of the mat, or drawing the toes in at 45 degrees. Your choice here, what feels good. Release and lengthen the arms, opposite sides of the room, and begin to sink your hips down, making sure this knee is staying over the ankle, lowering the shoulders from the ears. Beautiful work. From here, let's flip the palms up. On an inhale, we're going to extend the front leg, lengthening the front leg, bringing the palms together overhead. Exhale, press the palms down and away as you sink the hips back into warrior two. Inhale, rise. Exhale and lower. Again, inhale, rise. Pressing down into those feet. Exhale and lower. And once more, inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Beautiful. Flip the front palm, reach the palm forward, and think up and over as you take the fingertips up and behind, reaching all the way back. This back arm is extending down your back leg, front knee staying over that front ankle, reverse warrior. Take an inhale. Exhale, breathing into the side body. Let's inhale back to center, back to your warrior two, and then we're going to take the hands down to the mat, to the inside of your front foot. Keeping the back foot rooted, still keeping our legs in warrior two. We're going to walk our fingertips off of the mat, off the side of the mat. Extending the fingertips long in front of us. We're going to reach through the crown of the head, extending the spine. Inhale, exhale, and fold. So thinking here like you're coming into a half forward fold. Inhale, lengthening, exhale, and folding. This movement of fluidity guiding your body, finding what feels good as you lengthen the spine, and then lower the crown of the head. Once more, still pressing into those feet, opening those hips. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful work. Let's take those fingertips. Let's walk them towards the center of the mat. Pivoting on the back foot, lifting the back heel. We're taking the hands to opposite sides of the foot, coming into your runner's lunge. Back heel is lifted. Hands are framing the foot. You can find a little bit of gentle sway here. Keeping those hips sinking. So rather than piking them up, let's keep lowering those hips, relaxing them down. Opening up this area of fluid movement. Finding a gentle sway, finding what feels good for you. And when you're ready, take your right hand, ground it down to the inside of the left foot, and begin to open up towards the left for a twisted runner's lunge. Reaching through the left fingertips, keeping the hips down, opening up across the chest. Big inhale, exhale. Once more, inhale, exhale, lower the hand, coming back to runner's lunge. From here, we're going to come into our side lunge. So you're going to begin to pivot as you walk the hands towards the center of the mat. This back heel is going to turn so that all 10 toes are facing the long edge of your mat, and sink your hips down towards the front foot. Lengthening this back leg, drawing the toes up towards the shin. Now if this is too much, you can stay lifted up here, okay? Keeping the hips up. It's a lot on the quad and the hamstring, but if you can, try to sink the hips down using your fingertips to support you. From here, we're going to shift the weight over. Skandasana on the other side, sinking the hips down. Opposite toes are flexing towards the shin, keeping that chest lifted. Stay with your bodies. Find what feels good. So you can move like this, keeping the hips up, shifting them over to one side, lifting the toes, using your fingertips for support. And once more, let's travel to the back of the mat, sinking the hips, lifting the toes. You'll have another chance to do that again. Okay, this time let's take the hands to frame the top of the mat on the other side, pivoting, coming back into a runner's lunge. All 10 toes are facing the top of the mat, back heel lifted. Find a little bit of sway here. As you are ready, place your left hand down to the inside of your right foot and open up, twisting towards the right. Reaching through the right fingertips, keeping the hips relaxed. Inhale, exhale, and lower. Beautiful. Finding your runner's lunge once more. Let's take the fingers, walk them to the inside of the right foot, and take them off of the mat. Okay? Reaching through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. I want you to lower the back heel, bringing your legs into a warrior two position so that the pinky toe edge of the foot is parallel with the back of the mat, or the toes are coming in at 45 degrees. Whatever feels better for you. Taking the hands off the mat, we're reaching through the crown of the head. Inhale, exhale and fold. Lots of work for the legs here. Toning the legs. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Once more, soften your edges. Reach out through the crown of the head. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful. Walking your hands back towards the inside of that right foot. We're going to lift the torso coming into our warrior two. Front knee over that front ankle. Reaching out towards opposite sides of the room. You want to make sure your rib cage is stacked right over your hips, okay? If you need to come out of it a little bit, if your legs are a little bit tired, just lengthen this front leg. Give yourself a little bit of a break. Or sink the hips. Make sure the knee is not going before the toes. Beautiful. From here, we're going to lift the front palm, reach the palm forward, and then extend it up and back as the back arm travels down the back leg, taking your gaze up towards the sky, stretching from the hip all the way through the fingertips. Big inhale, exhale back to warrior two. Let's find a little bit more fluidity here. Let's take the palms up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen the front leg. Exhale, palms press down as you lower. Beautiful. Inhale, finding this fluidity. Inhale, exhale. Once more, let's inhale, exhale. Nice work, everyone. We're going to come back into our goddess pose. So beginning to take the front toes, pivoting them out towards the top corner of the mat. Back toes, reach out towards the opposite corner. Toes out, heels are in. Reaching the arms out to opposite sides of the room. Take a look. Make sure that your wrists are over the ankles. Nice wide stance. We're going to begin to bend the knees. Sink the tailbone down. Press into the pinky toe edges of the feet. Beautiful. Bend the elbows. Finding our goddess pose. Take an inhale, reach up, star pose. Exhale, lower the tailbone, goddess pose. Fluidity right in this movement. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Keep pressing into the pinky toe edges of the feet. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Once more, inhale, reach up. Exhale and lower. Let's bring our hands to our hips. Bring all 10 toes towards the long edge of the mat. Begin to rise up, pressing into the pinky toe edges of the feet, really rooting down into those feet. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. Beginning to send the tailbone away, reaching the crown of the head forward. We're tipping from the hip, placing our fingertips on the ground in front of us, lengthening along the spine. You can stay lifted, or if you're ready, you can begin to descend the crown of the head towards the earth. Opening up the lower back, really rooting down into those feet, allowing the crown of the head to relax down. Stretching and toning the back of the legs here. Don't hold your breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Once more, big inhale, exhale. Pressing into the fingertips, lifting the torso halfway. We're going to walk our hands to the top of the mat, pivoting those toes. All 10 toes are facing the short edge of the mat. And step the back leg in. Coming into our forward fold. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. On an inhale, let's come into a halfway lift. Reaching the crown of the head out towards the horizon. Exhale and fold. Now really press down into those feet as you rise all the way up. Inhaling, reaching the arms up overhead. Palms come together. Bring them down through heart center. Anjali Mudra. This is prayer position in front of the heart. Take an inhale in. Exhale through the nose. Ground down through your feet once more. Just noticing where our energy is gone, where energy has flowed. Moving to the other side. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead. This time we're going to step the left foot back. So I'm going to give you the back view this time. So back heel is lifted, coming into our crescent lunge. Front knee is over that front ankle. You want to make sure that this leg is tracking back into the hip while the front of the left hip is drawing forward. Lowering the shoulders from the ears. Big inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Begin to rise up. We're going to come into our goddess pose. So opening up the body towards the left, taking the toes to the top corners of the mat, maneuvering your feet so that your stance is nice and wide, making sure the ankles are underneath the wrists as you reach to opposite sides of the room, pressing down into the pinky toe edges of those feet, taking the toes out and the heels in. From here, lengthen the tailbone. Draw the pelvis up and in so your tailbone can extend down. Strengthen in the lower belly. We're going to begin to descend the tailbone. Beautiful. Bend the arms at 90. Goddess pose. Pressing into the pinky toe edges of those feet. Keeping the knees nice and open. Inhale and rise up into star. Reaching the arms overhead. Exhale and bend. Lowering the tailbone. Keep moving like this. Feeling yourself rising like a wave. And cresting and coming back down. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, let's inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's take the arms out once more, opposite sides of the room. We're going to pivot this front foot so toes are pointing the top of the mat. Back pinky toe edge of the foot is parallel with the back of the mat, or the toes are coming in at a 45-degree angle, coming into our warrior two. If you find that your feet are too close together, just find a way to come into a wide stance, maybe about 4 feet between the legs. And you can step the back foot out for a little bit more width. Reaching towards opposite sides of the room. Front knee stays over that front ankle. Rib cage right over the hips. Finding your warrior two here. Strong posture. Let's flip the palms towards the sakai. And we're going to lift as we inhale, lengthening through the front leg. Exhale, press the palms down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Moving with your breath a couple more times right here. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's flip the front palm. Reach for that side of the room and then think up and over as you take the fingertips up and back. Lengthening that back arm down the back leg. Keeping that knee over the front ankle. Opening up that rib cage. Big inhale. Exhale, come back to warrior two. And windmill the arms down to the inside of that front. We're keeping the legs where they are. Walking the fingertips off of the side of the mat. Take your hands out long as you reach through the crown of the head, keeping the hips descended. We're going to inhale and lengthen the spine. Exhale and fold. Inhale into a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift. Finding the fluidity. Exhale, fold. Once more here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Beautiful work. Let's walk the hands back to frame the front foot, lifting the back heel, coming into our runner's lunge. Finding a little bit of gentle movement here, keeping the hips nice and low. Press down into that left hand, root it down to the inside of the right foot, and inhale as you twist up, open to the right. Beautiful, guys, you look so nice. Reaching through those fingertips. Big inhale, exhale and lower. Back into our runner's lunge. We're gonna come into our side lunge, Skandasana. So from here, begin to lift the hips as you walk the hands towards the center of the mat. The 10 toes are going to face the long edge of the mat, and begin to sink your hips down to one side. Opposite toes are flexing back towards the shin, using your fingertips on the ground for support. You can also stay lifted like this, keeping the hips lifted. Depending on the flexibility in your hips and hamstrings. On an inhale, let's walk the hands over to the opposite side. Sink the hips over, lifting the opposite toes. Side lunge on the opposite side. Lifting the chest, trying not to cave forward. Thinking lifted spine, inhale. Walking the hands once more to the opposite side, sinking the hips. This is a huge stretch for the hips, guys. Find what feels good for you. Once more, lifting the hips, walking them over and down, lifting those toes. Nice work. Let's begin to pivot on the back foot, coming back into our runner's lunge on the other side. Back heel lifted, finding that shift forward and back, finding what feels good for you here. Grounding down into that right hand, inhaling and opening up over to the left. Reaching through the left fingertips. Big inhale. Exhale. Lengthening the inhale. Extending the exhale. Lowering back down into our runner's lunge. Beginning to descend the back heel. You're taking the toes out at a 45-degree angle, or the back pinky toe edge is going parallel with the back of the mat. You're finding your warrior 2 legs here. We're going to walk our hands off of the side of the mat. Once more, reaching through the crown of the head. Inhale, exhale and lower. Finding this flow, lifting and extending. Exhale and fold. Really pressing down to that front foot. Lots of strength in the legs and the hip. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Keeping the legs where they are. Begin to walk your hands towards that front foot to the inside, and you're going to lift the torso back up into warrior 2. Who's feeling that in the legs? That's a lot of strength in those legs and those quads. Stacking the rib cage over the hips, reaching out to opposite sides of the room, pressing down into the pinky toe edge of that foot. Let's flip the front palm, extend and reach forward, and then exhale and draw the fingers up and back as you open the side body. Reverse warrior, big inhale, exhale, once more inhale. Exhale back to center, warrior 2. Opening the palms up towards the sky. Here's the relief. Let's inhale, lengthen that front leg. Exhale and descend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and lower. Once more, inhale and lengthen. Exhale and lower. Beautiful, finding that warrior 2 once more. Big inhale. Exhale. Begin to take the toes and pivot towards the top corners of the mat. Finding our goddess pose once more. Toes out, heels in. Pressing into the pinky toe edges of those feet. Your heels should be lined up. Lengthen the tailbone and sink. Bending the arms for your goddess. Finding the full expression. We'll press into the feet and rise up for star. Inhale. Exhale and descend. Pressing into the pinky toe edge. Keep it strong in the legs. Finding your flow right here. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, everyone. Inhale. And exhale. Let's bring our hands to our hips. Bring all 10 toes to the front. Heels pointing back. Lengthening through those legs. Pressing down into the feet. We're coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Take an inhale and lengthen through the spine. Exhale and tip from the hip. Sending the tailbone back. Crown of the head reaches forward. Fingertips come to the earth. Lengthen along the spine. Inhale. Exhale and fold. You can relax the crown of the head down towards the earth. Big inhale. Releasing the lower back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's inhale, halfway lift. We're going to walk the hands towards the top of the mat, pivoting the front foot towards the top of the mat, lifting the back heel, and stepping the back leg in for a forward fold. Inhale into a halfway lift. Nice flat back, reaching the crown of the head out to the horizon. Exhale and fold. Press down into the feet. Roll the torso all the way up. Palms come up overhead. Taking a big inhale. Bringing the hands into prayer position in front of the heart. Let's take a few moments here. Just settling back into the body. Listening to the sound of your breath. Noticing where your energy is gone. Feeling any sensations in your body. Beautiful. Let's inhale. Raise the arms up overhead. Exhale and fold forward. Bringing the fingertips down to the earth. Inhale into a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. We're going to step back with one leg and lower the knee. And then step back with the other. Coming into a tabletop position. We're coming into puppy pose here. So taking the knees hip width distance apart. You can keep the toes tucked. Or you can take the tops of the feet and bring them down to the earth. We're going to walk our hands forward and begin to release our chest down to the earth, keeping our hips stacked over our knees, releasing our heart, reaching the fingertips forward, a huge shoulder stretch here, finding where you can soften, where you can relax. If this is a lot for you, you can just come into child's pose, sinking the hips back. But this focuses the stretch a little bit more into our shoulders, across the upper back. Think about surrendering your heart down to the earth, allowing your forehead to relax down. Taking a big inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthening the exhale. When you're ready, you can bring your big toes together behind you, taking the knees as wide as your mat, coming into an extended child's pose, just sinking the hips back down towards the heels, keeping your chest lowering down towards the earth. You can relax your forehead down on the mat. You can even rock your forehead side to side here, stimulating that third eye chakra, the seat of our intuition. Your knees are as wide as your mat, and your big toes are touching to open up those hips. Allowing the fluidity in our hips to open up. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can take child's pose by bringing the knees together and even taking the arms behind you. Palms can come down to the earth. Again, relaxing the forehead down. Coming back down into our bodies. Bringing the energy back down. Feel your belly expanding as you inhale. As you are ready, press into your palms and lift the torso. We're going to untuck the legs from underneath us and extend them out in front of us. Bending the knees and placing the sole of the feet on the floor. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Ground down into those sits bones. You can reach the arms out in front as we roll back down onto our spine. Sometimes when you reach the arms out, it helps to counterbalance. So I want you to think about keeping the spine nice and long. Try not to round in. Keep lifting that heart space. And slowly begin to descend down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time, keeping the soles of your feet on the ground, strengthening the core, controlling the body all the way down. We're coming into our final Shavasana, our integration and meditation portion of the class. So I invite you now to find a comfortable seat or laying down position on your mat. You can come all the way down to your backs and bend your knees, allowing the knees to rest in towards one another. You can take a full Shavasana with your legs extended, arms lengthened down by your side. If you'd like, you can even sit up in an easy cross-legged position or sitting back on your heels, whatever feels good for you here. Let's just give ourselves this moment to allow the gifts of our practice to integrate into our bodies. So finding any areas where you can begin to relax and soften. If you're in a Shavasana, allowing the toes to splay out and relaxing the ankles, relaxing the legs and softening the hips, softening the belly, relaxing the arms down by your side. Maybe the fingertips curl in as you relax the wrists, allowing your shoulder blades to melt into the earth. Relax your jaw and your cheeks. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. And just scan your body for any areas where you can send the breath to help soften and relax even further. If you find your mind wandering, no problem. Just notice it and gently bring it back to the breath, using this moment to come into your body, to relax your body down into the ground. Begin to listen to your breath. Listen to the inhale. Notice the moment when the breath crests like a wave, and release the exhale. You can remain in in Shavasana and end your practice here. Or if you'd like, you can gently draw the knees in towards the chest, hugging them in, allowing yourself to add some gentle movement back into the body, maybe rocking side to side and coming to rest on one side. Using your hands to push yourself up to a seated position. We'll come back into an easy cross leg, or you can sit onto your heels. Just taking another moment to ground down, to lengthen up through our spine. If your eyes are closed, I invite you to open them up. We'll end our practice by taking a big inhale all together, collecting this energy that we've created, this fluidity in our bodies, in our space, bringing it back down into heart center, gifting it to ourselves, remembering that we can always stay fluid in our minds, in our bodies, in our hearts. I bow and I say namaste to you. I thank you so much for sharing your practice and your time with me.